Welcome back to Smokey's Review of Call. My last interview of the day, we're going to interview JJ, better known from SMF, margaritas or whatever. Just introduce yourself.
Wow. That's all I can say. I mean, I really haven't had any margaritas in the last couple of weeks. Well, that and actually real food. Because
damn, that's fucked up.
Yeah, right now I'm going through like 3 different medical conditions right now. It's not even funny. But
damn.
I know, and I still have about a month to go before I can fully recover.
Ain't good. We're gonna be talking about a couple of things on this show. I never talked to you before, so this is gonna be quite interesting. So I'm just gonna get started, and we'll see how it goes and everything else.
Oh, that sounds cool.
But my first question is, what do you think about the current state of call nowadays? Because there's a lot more call leagues out there than there was whenever SML first began, and what there is now. There are just a ton of them. What do you think about it and the whole situation?
Honestly, I'm actually kind of surprised at how this whole call thing kept branching out into everything that's been going on these days. I mean, now everybody wants to either create their own call league, and I mean, the more out there, the better. I mean, as long as you can do whatever you want to do, and pretty much, I mean, just listen to some criticism from the fans or whatever. I mean, just try to work whatever your show is. I mean, but when SMF, I mean, I wasn't even around when SMF first started, so this whole call thing was actually new to me when they asked me if I wanted to help out or just even help out with the matches.
Yeah, I like your little slogan you got. What was it? Brain freeze!
That actually came by accident.
I just think it's hilarious how you do that and everything else. You do a good job on it, and I just want to give you your props for doing that, and I appreciate you coming on my show and everything.
Oh, thank you. This is actually a pretty cool idea what you're doing right now.
Yeah, I just decided to do something different because I've been reviewing the call for about a year now, and there's always something you always need to improve on, and I just decided to add this segment and like give different perspective of call from different people, like call owners or people who helped out in call leagues or fans in general,
I mean, this whole call thing, there's like so many out there. I mean, I'm pretty much ADD when it comes to YouTube, so I mean, I just watch clips of here and there, but some of them actually kind of drive me away. Like, I mean, certain leagues I will not mention by name because I don't want to instigate anything.
Yeah, but you know what? We're gonna have to get into that later on in the show because that's one of my questions. You're gonna have to answer it. But moving on, I know that you got some favorite leagues around call. There's people all the time. It don't matter if you like call that much or you hate it, but you always got a select few you like. What are your top leagues you like, and what are the top few leagues you don't like? And be honest.
All right, that would have to be ACLL, NGW. I mean, those two are the top dogs for wherever they come from. Yeah. Now, honestly, to tell you the truth, pretty much they each have their own different thing to. This is funny. I'm right now drawing literally a brain freeze right now.
Wow.
No, but there's SCAW. DWA, UWO. I mean, they each bring their own uniqueness to the table, and I mean, pretty much you can't have one single league be like exactly the same. I mean, that's the reason why I think TNA is kind of failing today. I mean, they're pretty much trying to be like WWE. So, whatever you do, your own niche.
Yeah.
ICCW.
I was trying to say WCW. I was trying to say WCW, but I'm not going to say ICCW for some reason.
Surprisingly, I was actually more of a WCW fan than I was of the WWF.
I like WCW. Whenever first, like the whenever NWO first came out, I thought that was the greatest thing that ever come out. The way they did their storylines, because it was all new. They didn't really wrestling never had a faction like the NWO before, so it was kind of a different step to everything. So I thought it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Especially when they made Hulk Hogan like a major heel. That was like the complete opposite of him.
Well, the funny thing was, back then, I mean, I was actually one of those people that said, "Oh my God, wrestling is so stupid. Why am I ever going to watch this?" I mean, I've only ever heard of two wrestlers, Hogan and the Ultimate Warrior, and that was it until like about, I want to say, 98 when I started flipping to the channel. I'm like, this is actually pretty interesting, so I started watching more and more, and I'm like, wait a minute, there's Hulk Hogan, and I'm like, yeah. Why are they all booing him? And so I started watching it from Super Brawl 8 when Sting won the title again. And I'm like,
yeah.
Why? Hogan should be the champion.
That'll be the one of few times you actually hear somebody admit something about actually liking Hogan. Because you know how most people are these days, like, they don't want to have any kind of let anybody know that they actually liked him back then. But I ain't scared to admit I was like one of Hulk Hogan's biggest fans growing up. Cause I don't know why, but it was just something about him, especially when he would turn bad. It just they did a good job with his character. That's what made him so liked.
Well, the funny thing was like not even about 2 or 3 months into when I started watching wrestling, the Wolfpack came all about it. They were like, "Oh, the big cool thing." So I jumped on that bandwagon and that was like every day at school, like, yeah, Wolfpack for life. No, those were the days, man. I mean, like, just being a little kid and be going to school, just talking about wrestling. And this was back when wrestling was actually fun to watch.
Yeah. Back when it was wrestling.
Oh, and then later that year, I actually went to Starrcade. Remember when Goldberg lost the title to Nash thanks to the cattle prod?
Yeah.
That was my first event ever, and I was like so excited. I even actually gave up my Redskins Eagles tickets just to go to that. I mean, to sell it off to trade for that.
Let me tell you something. This is my first time ever talking to you when you already went off topic. We were talking about favorite and less favorite colleagues, and somehow we got onto WCW because I slipped up. We gotta move on a little bit. But I want to ask you, cause you've been involved with SML for about how long? You been involved with SML? Probably like over a year.
I want to say it's actually been about 2 years.
Yeah, it's been a long time. It's just amazing, cause I remember when I first started watching SML, I noticed you because you was just started out basically, and you was commentating Speed. And I was like, what the hell? This dude's fucking crazy.
Yeah. You're not the only one that had that same response.
Well, it's a good one because you actually are funny. You pull off your character, your voiceover. You might not be your voiceover, it's just your character, your whole voice character anyway. It helps you pull it off, especially when you got your little margarita trip thing where you're just obsessed with margaritas.
Well, the thing is, I actually am obsessed with margaritas.
I'm doing my Bud Light, so I'm good.
Well, margaritas are my #1 seed, so whenever I go to like a bar or something, like, oh, let me see what the margarita. But then it's like, problem is when it gets to the prices, I like look at them and going like, sweet holy harmony, that ain't right.
What was your favorite? Whenever you first got met the owner, Bob Ross, or you know his whole name. I ain't gonna discuss his name because I ain't no concern with anybody's except on the forums. But what do you first conception of him because of the way he is and everything else? Because he must do it whenever you talk to him. He actually more of a laid back person than I thought whenever I first started.